It's I want to make everyone. It's also Al Whitley's birthday today. He's the general manager of the Legends. So he's been here since before I've been here. So make sure if you see him, he's around, looking very official. Tell him the same thing.
What did you think about DeLon Wright's way of finding different ways to score other than just spot-up shooting, which he kind of seemed limited to in the preseason?
Well, he was involved in every part of the game, and obviously a big part of our being able to come back from a deficit, get a lead and be able to finish it out. So, look, he's a young veteran player that has experience, but he's new here, and it's just important that he finds ways to really entrench himself into how we're going to play, and that was an important step.
How is Dwight progressing with his health? His mobility?
He's progressing well. Yeah, he will not play tonight, but he's progressing well and has had no setbacks. So at this point, it's become more of a day-to-day thing. So I know he had a good workout today. Tomorrow's practice with the team, and then we'll just see what's what when we get on to the next couple, 3, 4, 5 days.
Small sample size, but Whiteside has gotten off to a good start. Why do you think he's thriving in this system?
Well, he's a good player, first of all. He demonstrated in Miami that he could really generate some amazing statistics. And as Miami was playing faster, his role was changed somewhat. Portland is probably more suited to his style of play because they play with classic big men. They do a great job of taking advantages of the strengths of guys like Nurkic and Whiteside and Collins, and this year, last year it was Cantor, and then this year they got Labissiere, who's had a very good preseason and is I'm sure he'll play some minutes tonight. So, but look, he's a huge guy. He's an amazing rebounder. He's a force in the paint, and he's a force as a shot blocker. I mean, those things have been well documented over his 5 or 6 year career.
Are you concerned about the slow starts that you guys? It's been 2 games already, but you had some trouble last season with slow starts, and then already 2 games in, kind of a slow start for the team. Are you going to continue?
Yeah, I mean, we want to start well. The 2 first games were different by nature, but slow starts in the NBA are not good, and so it's something that we're going to continue to talk about. But we got to be process oriented with it. A lot of it has to do with just the collective level of force and togetherness at both ends of the floor. It's not anymore. You can't just think about playing force on defense. You got to do it on offense as well. And so we did neither at the beginning of the New Orleans game, and it was very costly to us.
It seems like everyone in your rotation can shoot threes, pretty much all 9, 10 guys. How does that impact your offense having that much space?
Well, it should open the lane some for penetration. We want to have a lot of paint attacks. I'm not going to get into the number, but that's a big part of every team in the NBA's offensive strategy is, the more times you can get in there, especially straight line with force, the more damage you're going to do, the higher your points per possession are going to be. And so, we want to be a paint attacking team. And the other night we started out more as an outside-in team rather than an inside-out team, and that's we were able to turn the tables on that as the game went along. But you're not always going to be able to do that. You gotta have that disposition at the beginning of the game.
Rick, Kristaps spoke about still trying to kind of catch his wind in the NBA game, just having been away. In your experience, how long will it take, do you think, for him to kind of catch his wind to where he's where he wants to be?
That's hard to say. When you've been out that many months, it can take a while. And I've talked to you folks about the fact that this was going to be an ongoing process. When I was a player, I had one situation where I missed a year with an injury, and it was at the end of my very unstoried career. But I got a taste and a feel for what it was like to try to come back after being out a year. And mine was a shoulder situation, and it's very challenging. Now he's a lot younger than I was, and he's a lot better athlete than I was. But I do know it takes time. He's doing remarkably well, everything considered. But I'm constantly watching, his fatigue levels, and in most cases, we want him to push fatigue levels to regain the kind of conditioning consistency that's necessary. But we want him to be able to finish games too, and so it's something I got to keep close tabs on, along with Casey Smith.
What's it like for you to get to coach against your friend and former colleague, Terry Stotts?
Well, it's difficult because he's a great coach. When we hired him here, on my staff, when I came here, I knew right away he was a great coach, and he was an NBA head coach. I just had no question in my mind. And after, I think, 4 years, the opportunity in Portland came up. He won the job, and he's done one of the most amazing rebuilds of a program over time that I've seen, with a great level of consistency and creativity. And so, he's just one of many great coaches we have in the league now.
Rick, how do you slow down Lillard and McCollum?
Very tough. Our bigs are going to have to be very active on their pick and rolls because they shoot them. They shoot shots, 30, 35 feet from the basket, maybe even further at times. I mean, Lillard especially. You remember that shot he hit against Oklahoma City in the playoffs. I mean, that was a step back 35-footer. I mean, it's a hellacious shot, and he's developed it. McCollum shoots from way out, and so it puts a lot of pressure, obviously, on your guards trying to navigate those screens that are set, full speed, at 30, 35 feet, and both those guys drive the ball too, so they're very, very, very difficult, and the numbers certainly prove that.
Bazemore kind of lit you guys up last year with Atlanta. What kind of acquisition was that for them?
I'm sorry?
Bazemore? Kent Bazemore?
Yeah, Bazemore's a terrific player. He's been a hard guy for us to deal with. He was great with Atlanta last year, as you mentioned. It just gives them another attacking wing that can shoot threes and drive it. And he's also, defensively, he's disruptive. Gets a lot of passing lanes, and helps them generate transition. So, he's another guy we got to deal with. I mean, him and Hood, Lillard, McCollum. This kid Simons is off to a great start, averaging 18, 19 a game the first 2 games.
Happy birthday!
That's it. Terry Stotts.
Hello, everybody.
They present a lot of challenging situations, and Collins has gotten better, and they got Nurkic, sitting over there, and at some point he'll be back out there on the floor, and then they'll be. You think they're big now? They'll be really big.